It's the Dirty Water Red Sox Podcast, episode 4. Roll the intro! Woo! And here is your host, Rob in Italy J.
What is going on, guys? Oh my God, that is an amazing intro. Shout out our co-producer, Justin, for making that. It is beautiful. Welcome to the Dirty Water Red Sox Podcast, presented by Guy Boston Sports and Grandstand Productions. I'm your host, Rob Anglin, with my amazing co-host, Italy Jet. And wait a minute, we're missing some people right now, aren't we? Let's bring them on. Let's bring them on to the camera. Give it up for Dev and Noah, guys. We're going to get them on in just a second. There's Dev. There is Noah.
Thank you. Hold the applause. Thank you.
How we doing, guys?
Doing good. Very emotional weekend. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we're gonna let's talk Red Sox baseball because that's what this is all about. So we had a couple series this week. We had the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers, who were ironically in 2017 a match of the World Series. And we're gonna start with the LA Dodgers series because this one it's the most recent one and the one that hits home. We're gonna start with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the Los Angeles Dodgers came into town and a very familiar face came home and it hurts my heart. I'm going to go last because I got a lot to say. I'm going to try and keep it brief because I love this man so much. I'm going to start with Dev. We're going to go around the corner. How are we feeling about the LA Dodgers series? Obviously, we lost the series, but it was a warm welcome for our good friend Mookie Betts.
I mean, it would have been nice for us to win the series, welcoming, Marcus Mookie Betts, home to Fenway Park. It was very, tearing and very sad and a very happy moment for, the fans, us fans here. And it was just amazing just to see Mookie Betts. I wish that he was, a Red Sox for life, but, we all know what happened with, Chaim Bloom trading him away. But, it was a very somber moment for, Red Sox fans. He does have 2 World Series, one with us, one with the Dodgers. I mean, sadly, but it was just great seeing him here. I wish the outcome was a whole lot better. I wish we could have won the series 2-3, maybe even swept them. If we only held the lead on Friday night, and Noah's favorite player, Trevor Story, finally hit his first home run, this season for the Red Sox. He finally, shut him up. He heard our podcast. He was like, you know what? I'm going to hit this home run right over to the Green Monster. He said, you know what, Noah? I'm doing it for my team. I'm doing it for my city. So you know what? It was great to see, Trevor Story finally kind of wake up. But you know what? I wish that we would have won the series. But, the outcome wasn't where it was. But it was great to see Mookie home. It was also great to see my all-time favorite Red Sox, Ryan Brazier, back in Boston, it. And, I was really hoping that he could have blown the lead this afternoon. I was really hoping for it, but when you have a 1.56 ERA in the bullpen, as a Dodger, it's just like, man, don't you really wish that could have happened with the Red Sox so that we wouldn't have had to DFA him and he wouldn't have had to go to the Dodgers and whatnot. But very exciting weekend, having Mookie come home. I wish we could have seen JD, but he was on the, IL. But great to see Mookie home. I'm upset that we lost, but, glad for Mookie that, he took the series as he should have.
And as he did, he torched the Red Sox, man. It was crazy. Him and Freddie Freeman at the top of the lineup are probably one of the best 1-2 duos in Major League Baseball history. It might go down as that. Noah, how are we feeling? Obviously, the series, we did lose to the Dodgers, unfortunately. How are we feeling about seeing Mookie Betts coming back to his old home in Fenway Park? And how are you feeling about this series against the Dodgers?
So, unfortunately, I called the outcome of this series. I told my friend, bad vibes, say what you want. But I said that we would probably end up taking 1 of 3 in these games. 1 of 3 of these games, and that's exactly what happened. Obviously, Friday didn't go how it probably should have. Boston probably should have held on to win that. But I think what I wanted to touch on most here is how much of a homecoming this series was for both teams. You know what I mean? Guys on the Red Sox that used to play for the Dodgers, even Alex Cora, a manager, played for the Dodgers at one point. Justin Turner, who am I forgetting? Chris Martin, Kenley Jansen, guys like those all played for LA at one point. And then you look at the Dodgers, you had a guy like, even though he was on the IL, JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, and even Dave Roberts. Dodger manager Dave Roberts, who played for the Red Sox. So this series was kind of one big homecoming for the Boston Dodgers and the Los Angeles Red Sox there. But today definitely was a bit of an interesting one because probably at a point we should have had the one today. But again, Ryan Brazier out of nowhere, he's touching 98 on the corner. His slider's looking deadly as ever. So real annoying stuff there that couldn't be tapped into in Boston. But if I had to recap this series all in one, unfortunate that we didn't see Kenley Jansen pitch. Obviously, we saw you tweak that hamstring in the Astros series. Saw John Schreiber out there for the save on Saturday night, which was definitely kind of concerning, considering the fact that, one, Schreiber's been shaky a little bit this year, and two, Kenley Jansen obviously in a safe situation, not being out there. So obviously that's always going to be a concern when you don't see your closer out there in a safe scenario. We did hear that he was available to go today, but obviously wasn't needed today. Chris Murphy with a pretty rough outing there. But ultimately, they take 1 of 3. They're not yet. There's one thing I can urge Red Sox fans. They're not out yet. They're not done yet. Don't give up on them. While this was a bleak weekend, they're not done, and they're still very much in this playoff hunt.
The way I look at it, you can't count this team out and any team out until they're mathematically eliminated, unless you're the Oakland A's, because you are not making the playoffs. I agree. Ryan Brazier, I think what it is with Los Angeles, I think they work black magic over there. A lot of aged veterans, and I'll get into that in a little bit when I talk about the rookie return and everything, because the Dodgers do black magic. I'll explain in a sec. Italy Jet, how are we feeling about this Dodgers series loss? Obviously, it's a tough series loss for us, but how are we feeling about seeing Mookie, and how are we feeling moving forward?
I just think it's really funny how we lost both games 7-4, like the same exact score.
I didn't even pick up on that. I didn't even
I was just shocked, honestly, with
pick
that
up
score.
on it. Did we really?
Yeah, but first and third game,
Wow.
7-4. It's
That's crazy,
mind-boggling. You know what? This is exactly the way I thought it was going to go with the Dodgers. The Astros, I definitely thought we were going to sweep all 3 games, but overall, this is do or die week now. I said last week, we're not going to be counted out this week. Don't worry yet. Now I'm getting a little worried. This is the week where we need to be worried because we're going into September. Okay, going to September, there's a lot of loose ends with teams coming to play. There's a lot of things maneuvering around, especially us with the Red Sox. So overall, even though the outcome was like this, we do very well against the Astros. So I'm ready to come in and face the Astros and just give it to them. It's the Royals. I'm like, okay, they suck, but we don't play good against sucky teams. So Mookie coming back, switching to Mookie, that was emotional. I love what he said. I love how on the bat, in the batter's box, he put like a big circle and he heart number 50 in the batter's box, coming in with St. Ovation tip in his cap. We're going to roll a clip here in a bit. But I thought that was cool. I want him to be a Red Sox for life. Maybe in the future he can come back and end his career here. Maybe. I doubt it, but that would be great. Our pitching needs to step up. Our hitting has been solid, but it needs to be a little bit better. Duvall, JT are carrying us right now along with Reyes. Keep that up. Even Reese McGuire came in clutch. So if we can continue to do things like that and come up in big games like we are between the 5th and 7th inning, I think we're going to be fine. But this is the week where we really need to shut this down. That's what I think.
I said it on my TikTok earlier, and I say it a lot. The Red Sox team is the most consistent, inconsistent team in Major League Baseball, and I feel that way still. Going back to Mookie's return, okay, I'll try to keep this brief. I'll try to keep it under 4 minutes here because I got a lot to say.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
First things first, I'm getting a little emotional because for everybody who knows by now, Mookie Betts is my favorite player in Major League Baseball. He's my favorite player in general. I grew up when he got called up in 2014. I was 14 years old watching the Red Sox play baseball, and I saw this 5'9" guy come up to the plate and get his first hit in New York. And I was like, this kid is going to be a stud. And I mind you, I'm younger than the guy, and I'm saying this kid's going to be a stud because that's baseball talk. And come to find out it was Mookie Betts. Seeing him come home to Fenway Park, it was very emotional for me, especially because I connect with him. I honestly he was my favorite Red Sox. I had jerseys, bobbleheads, you name it, everything. Traded to the Dodgers. And that season, everybody thought, even, I don't know if you guys were on Red Sox Twitter at the time, during that time, but during that time, everybody's like, oh, what if the season got canceled and they don't even play games and he could just come back to the Red Sox and it doesn't count? and the trade gets vetoed because the season never happened technically, so he can come back? Or what if he comes back in free agency, like an Aroldis Chapman situation where he comes back to New York, or how Chapman came back to New York? Didn't even play a single game with the Dodgers, signed the extension. We knew what happened. There were talks about the $300 million declining the offer. I'm not too sure who to believe. I mean, I would believe the player, but the ownership hasn't spoken up about that, so we'll never know until maybe one day in the future where they open up. But it was very nice. Every game he played, all 3 games, standing ovation, tipped the cap. Such a great player, class act, did a lot for Boston, and he's doing a lot for the city of LA. For the game itself, the Red Sox showed fight in the first inning. Alex Verdugo killing his old team. 2 homers on the first pitch in back-to-back games. He's been looking really good. Justin Turner killing the Dodgers, surprisingly. Not even surprisingly, it's Justin Turner. But surprisingly, the Red Sox were driving in a lot of runs. I mean, I'm not surprised. After that 17-1 game against Houston, the offense was hot. But the one thing that I think the Red Sox needed to do was just stay consistent pitching. And that's the one thing I had to say. This is leaning back on what I mean about inconsistently being consistent. The Red Sox either are really good at hitting and then their pitching gets cold, or their pitching is really good and their lineup is ice cold. They can never have both at the same time unless it's earlier in the year when they had that 7-game winning streak. But all said and done, the better team won. The Dodgers took 2 out of 3 at Fenway Park. Nothing you could do but tip your cap. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts killed the Red Sox, and Ryan Brazier, Black Magic, Mark Pryor. I don't know what they do in LA, but they turn old vets into gods. Like, look at Jason Hayward sucking with the Cubs last year. No offense, Jason Hayward, great guy. Prime years with the Braves and beginning with the Cubs. Dude's actually doing
and
really
Cardinals
well. And Cardinals too. I forgot he played for the Cardinals. He had a good years with St. Louis too. He's been really good for the Dodgers. Solid guy, older guys, even like David Peralta guy, Miguel Rojas. I can name lists. JD Martinez, like last year. Look at what he did as a Red Sox. And now
he's not old, but kind of revived his career. Ahmed Rosario there. Ahmed Rosario has been pretty good for them this season ever since they traded for him.
And
Taylor and Muncy. And Taylor and Muncy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they do.
They do it. It's
unbelievable. A 1.56 ERA. Good for Brazier. The video tribute was great. Okay, I kept it under 4 minutes. Which is good. We're gonna go into our next topic here because I really want to talk about this, and me and Noah have good opinions on it. Everybody on Red Sox Twitter have opinions about this. Tanner Houck. What do you do with Tanner Houck? Do you keep him in the starting rotation? Do you put him in the bullpen? The bullpen's been having issues recently. What are we gonna do? We had to figure it out. Let's start with Italy Jet. How are you feeling about Tanner Houck? I know you're leaning more towards a starter, but how are you feeling about this and the bullpen situation right now?
I think as much as I love Tanner Houck, and much as, I say he's from Missouri, Illinois side. I love the guy. I love what he stands for. But, his first couple innings, every single time he starts always sucks. Then these last 2 innings, he's good. But we need consistent. And that's why I'm okay if he does go in the bullpen. But I really do think that he does deserve another shot at the starting position. If not this year, maybe next year. I want them to work it in. Or we love veteran starting pitchers. Why don't we put a veteran in there, pick up someone or put someone from the minors up here? Because if you want to be a playoff team, you got to make some big decisions. And Cora has just been nuts. I've never seen a Red Sox coach do stuff like this in a very long time. And it's beginning to be one of those things with Cora that we're all like, what in the world? We're yelling at our TV. I could see Noah yelling at his TV, Rob, Devin, me. We want to throw our TV against the wall. So Cora needs to get it together with the starting pitching and the relievers. And I think Houck deserves another shot. But overall, if he goes in a reliever, I would like that too, because he is a good 2-inning guy as well. So all the above, still want him here. Whatever happens with them, I am okay with.
I'm okay too. It's just good to have an extra pitcher on the roster. Tanner Houck, I think the experiment of him being a starter is going to be very interesting to see. It has been interesting to see what he has done. No, let me know your thoughts on this. How you feeling about Tanner Houck in the rotation or in the bullpen, and how you feeling about the state of this bullpen right now? In the bullpen management, I know we talked about in previous episodes about Alex Cora. Do you feel like it's gotten better, or do you feel like it's gotten worse from Alex Cora?
So there was a point in time where after we made that, I thought the bullpen management was pretty decent. But over the past week, there have been some moves out of the bullpen. There have been some late yanks. There's just been some moves that have and I'll use the other day. I forget. I think it was against the Dodgers. It was. I know for a fact. I think it was Friday, actually. Maybe not Friday or Saturday, I think it was. Garrett Whitlock was in for his second inning of work, and the bases were loaded. I think it was hit. And Chris Martin's nowhere to be seen. And I think I said in the group chat, what's Alex Cora doing? Why is Chris Martin in this game? But why isn't Chris Martin in this game? Why is Garrett Whitlock still in there? And he let him face another hitter after that. Thank God he got out of it. And then Martin rung up Max Muncy on definitely a questionable strike 3 call. But I want to get back on topic here. I want to talk about Tanner Houck. I want to make it clear that, again, I have personal vendettas against some players. Tanner Houck is far and away one of my least favorite players on the Red Sox. I really have never, liked the guy. I just don't really think he's a great pitcher. But with that being said, I have always been Tanner Houck belongs in the bullpen guy. Now, seeing these past 2 starts, I don't know that. Because if we're going to put him in the bullpen and he's going to struggle like this for the first inning he's in and the second inning he's in, what's the counter of putting him in the bullpen? Because if he's in there for an inning or 2 innings out of the bullpen, that's it when he's at his worst. What's the point of even having him in there at all when he could just blow the game in an inning or 2 while being in there? So ultimately, I do think he's a guy that belongs in the bullpen because we've seen with Nick Pivetta, you move a guy to the bullpen, they've got better stuff for an inning. When a pitcher has a completely different mindset when they know they're only working for an inning or 2 compared to when they know they're going to be working for 5 to 6 innings. They could give all their A stuff out there in the first 2 innings, and that's honest to God what I think could benefit Tanner Houck. Long term, what Italy Jet said, I don't hate the idea of maybe continuing to run him out there for 5 to 6 innings a night as a starter, but ultimately in long term, I think the answer for Tanner Houck is to be in the bullpen.
And that's okay. And that's okay. Whatever happens. Yeah.
I think whatever you got to do right now with Tanner Houck, you got to have him figure it out. And as a starter, he's been looking pretty good recently, but you never know what could happen. Dev, let me hear your thoughts on this. How do you feel about Tanner Houck? And do you think he is an option that should be in the bullpen down the stretch for the Red Sox? Or do you think he should be a reliable starter to try and make a postseason push?
Well, here's the thing with Tanner Houck is the same thing that they did with Garrett Whitlock. They should have never put Houck and Whitlock as a starter. Whitlock, he had his ups and downs, but he was not a great starter. From the start, he was a very reliable bullpen guy. We keep him in the 7th or the 8th inning guy. So that's why I think in this situation they're using Tanner Houck as a Garrett Whitlock situation. Just leave him in the bullpen where he started things out because we need a lot of help with bullpen help. And our starters, too. Speaking of starters, the Cleveland Guardians, they did release Noah Syndergaard. And I think someone in the chats, and one of our chats said that, Chaim Bloom is a very veteran guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if, Chaim Bloom picks up Noah Syndergaard and puts him in the rotation. And then you put Tanner Houck in the bullpen. That'll be a very interesting situation for the Boston Red Sox. But going back on Tanner Houck, I think that, he's a very reliable bullpen guy. I like him as a relief pitcher. I think it suits him better, when he has, 1.5 to maybe 1 innings pitch compared to 5 innings and giving up, 5 to 6 runs. So that's why I think that Tanner Houck is a very reliable guy to use in the bullpen than he is as a starter.
I agree. And as you were talking, Dev, I found a website right here on CBS MLB, and I have the stats to back this up here. I think Tanner Houck is better as a bullpen guy. I've always said it. I like his stuff in the bullpen. And I think I've said it on Twitter so many times, he can't get 3 times through the lineup. In his first 9 batters, Tanner Houck has a sub-3 ERA with a 1.13 whip. Second, after 9 batters, he has a 4.34 ERA with a 1.448 whip. In the third time through the lineup, he has an 11.7 ERA with a 240 batting average against and a 1.231 whip with 12 hits, 17.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
In the third inning.
That's unacceptable.
And
that's unacceptable.
That's
why I'm saying, as a starter, you want your guys to go deep. You want your pitchers to go deep. Like you said, Noah, he's a good 2-3 inning guy, kind of like a leverage guy. And I love Tanner Houck. I think he's got good stuff and he could develop. I'm not hating on it because out of the right-hander side, him and Chris Sale have a similar windup, and that slider, Tanner Houck has a pretty good slider too. It's not as good as Chris Sale's, but it's definitely up there. But yeah, those stats definitely show that Tanner Houck is most likely better off as a bridge guy. And the combo of him and Garrett Whitlock together, if Whitlock can figure it out back to where he used to be, just imagine that duo. Have Garrett Whitlock go in the 5th and 6th inning, right? Have Garrett Whitlock in the 7th, you could flip-flop it either way. I think Whitlock is more reliable in 2 innings, and then Houck in the 7th, Chris Martin in the 8th, Kenley Jansen in the 9th. Like, that is lights out.
Look at that right there. Look at
And then
that.
think about it. You're like you said earlier in a couple of previous episodes, they're overusing Winkowski. That gives Winkowski a little bit of a break. Bernardino's obviously right now on the COVID IL, but when he comes back, he's been very reliable. John Schreiber has been overused a little bit too much. I mean, thank God he got the save with Mookie Betts with the bases loaded in the 9th inning of last game. But yeah, it will definitely help the bullpen usage, and it'll definitely help guys who have been pitching. And arguably, I'm not saying, I hope this ain't the case, but some pitchers might have dead arm, and it will definitely help them get some rest. And I feel like Tanner Houck in the bullpen will definitely do big things for the Red Sox. And Cutter Crawford has proved that he is a solid starter. So I think he'll be fine in that rotation instead of putting them back in the bullpen. Now, speaking of highlights and pitching and hitting, we got some good news. I'm going to let Italy Jet take it over for these plays of the week by the Boston Red Sox.
First, before we get to our Red Sox stuff that makes us happy, let's look at the Mookie tribute again. I think I want to see Rob cry a little bit. So let's do this, shall we? Don't you just love that smile at Devers?
I have an honest question. Sorry to interrupt you, Italy Jet, but I have an honest question.
No.
If Xander Bogaerts was standing out there at shortstop, do you think he would have booed Mookie?
Me or him?
No, if Xander Bogaerts was out there at shortstop, do you think Xander would have been booing Mookie?
I think he would have gave a stank face, maybe.
I mean, he got kind of the treatment that Betts got, so I don't know why he
By
would.
the way, guys, he'll be back next year. He'll be back at Fenway next year.
That's right.
I will be there.
Hey,
I should be there.
What do you
Next year, Xander Bogaerts
Padres,
is making a return.
Padres are coming to
Fenway.
Fenway.
Oh, that's going to be
interesting. And I will be there heckling him. I will be there, and I will heckle him till the cows come home.
If everybody knows Noah's personality, this doesn't surprise anybody.
Not a lot.
All right, but
Let's
now
get back on topic though.
Hold on. Now we got the defensive highlight now, and then we'll get to another highlight that I have been looking forward to Noah talking about. But first,
absolutely, I'm looking forward to it too.
Oh, I know.
No, not that one. Not that one.
Not that one yet. Not that one yet. But the other one. Here we go. Defensive play of the week.
Let's get to the one I hate first.
Yes, defensive play of the week by Story. Here we go. Man, that was sweet.
Such a good.
I loved it.
Unbelievable.
Woo.
Unbelievable scoop by Tristan Casas. That's just an unbelievable play by our first baseman.
TK would have never done that.
That's Kike Hernandez. That
Doesn't
ball from
happen.
the air mailed into the
Bogarts
seat.
wouldn't do that. What are you talking about? Kike
Brick
or
Hands.
Bogarts wouldn't do
Tristan
that.
Casas. Tristan Casas, what a play. And that's why Tristan Casas was there on our defensive player of the week. What a scoop.
Oh, all right. Well, now what we've all been waiting for, and he has been red hot at the plate. Here we go. Man, wasn't that just so sweet and refreshing?
Fun.
We needed that. We definitely needed that during the extra innings for sure.
What can you say, baby? April Duval is here. He's back. April Duval.
Finally.
I stand corrected. My apologies to Adam Duvall, right? I didn't expect that, right? But listen, he's helping the team, unlike someone else. But shout out to Adam Duvall.
Fun fact, guys. He fouled a ball off his foot, 99 miles per hour.
Yes, we got to mention that. We got to mention the ball off the foot.
You know what's funny? Him and Justin Turner have something in common. They love hitting bombs off of 1 foot. Dude, Duvall's been hot. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being the AL Player of the Week this week. And obviously, the NL Player of the Week has probably going to be, I don't know. It's a battle for the NL, but the AL Player of the Week, there's no questions asked. I think he should be the AL Player of the Week. But dude, he mashes.
It was insane.
It is insane. And now I have the schedule here to help me as a cheat sheet. I'm not going to lie. I need a little cheat sheet here because we're going to talk about the final month expectations for this Boston Red Sox team. What are the chances of them making the playoffs? If they do make the playoffs, who do we expect them to face due to that wild card standings? And what is going to happen? Who do we want to see get called up? There's a lot of things. September call-ups coming up. But we're going to go around the table. I'm going to start with Italy Jet. Who are you excited for to see as a September call-up if the Red Sox do? And what are your expectations for this final month of Red Sox baseball?
Stressful, depressed, joyful, Rob crying, Noah going mad, Devin eating kebabs, me eating a cannoli. Hey, cannolis and kebabs, Devin. It's going to happen one day.
You know it, man.
Yeah, but no, it's all of the above. This last month is when everyone gets stressed, whether your team is doing good or doing bad. And who I could see us calling up, honestly, I think it could be I would love to see my boy from St. Louis, Zenatello. I think that's his name, Zenatello. I'm probably bad at my Italian right now. But that I would like to see maybe Hamilton come up. I also would not mind even seeing Teal. But Teal, I think that's a little too much. I think it's a little too ahead of ourselves. But just anybody but Bobby Dahlbeck. Just don't bring him up.
Thank you.
Anybody but Dahlbeck. But we have a great young team down there in the minors, and I like him. So except Dahlbeck. Just don't bring Dahlbeck up. That's who I would want.
Attaboy. Shot.
Sorry, guys. My mic was on mute for a second. I was looking at my schedule. I think this is going to be a very interesting last month of baseball for the Red Sox. There's some guys that you could call up. Some of those guys that you mentioned, I would love to see in Red Sox uniforms, but I don't think they're ready quite yet. Maybe Hamilton, because he's made some appearances. Noah, who do you think that the Red Sox are going to call up for September call-ups, and how are you feeling about this last stretch of games? Because they got some deep competition. Besides the New York Yankees, they're no competition to us, but besides them,
Yankees are done.
who do you think is going to get called up, and what do you think the last month of the season is going to go for the Boston Red Sox?
So Italy Jet kind of took the route of the young players that he wants to see up, but unfortunately, I mean, Kyle Tilley could see coming up, but I don't think, we're not, obviously we aren't the Angels, so we're not going to rush a prospect up if we don't think they're ready.
Right.
I do think it is a little early to see Zenatello up in the big league, so I'm gonna say that one position player that I think they'll bring up. I think it'll be Cedar Rafaela. I think the Red Sox, September 1st. I think Cedar Rafaela is going to get the call. I think he's going to come up, and I'm good pitching option. I could go exciting and say like Shane Drohan or someone like that, but I'm going to go boring, and I'm just going to say they bring Brandon Walter back. He's had a couple dominant outings now in a row for Worcester. I think he went like 7 innings of 1-run ball today, so really good stuff. He's definitely found some stuff down there, so I think he'll be the pitching option. I do quickly want to touch on it. If the Red Sox are in the playoffs, I think we could assume that they're going to be the 6th seed if they do get in the playoffs. They'll sneak in that final spot. And as of right now, it looks like the opponent, if they are the 6th seed, will be the Minnesota Twins in the first round. So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah. So it looks like if they are the 6th seed, it will be Minnesota in the first round for Boston.
And it looks like the Red Sox will be moving on to the ALDS because the Minnesota
Twins
get first round exits every year.
Easy pickings. Easy pickings.
Easy move.
Are the Twins still on that haven't won a playoff game streak?
Yeah, but they haven't won a playoff game in 4 or 5 times. I think it's been very, very bad for them.
Yeah, that's the Twins right there. That's the Twins.
Very stupid.
So true.
How are we feeling about this? How do you feel about the September call-up situation for the Boston Red Sox? Who do you want to get called up? Who you think is ready? And how are you feeling about this last month of games? Do you think the Boston Red Sox sneak into a playoff spot?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say Cedar Rafaela, coming up to the big league. I think we need, big run producer. And, why not bring him up who can, mash some home runs, maybe bring up Hamilton for sure. And, I really wanted to be negative about this Boston Red Sox team, but maybe when you add a negative and a negative, it equals a positive. So you know what? I'm just going to go with my gut feeling. Right? If you guys didn't know, mathematicians out there, a negative and a negative, it equals a positive. So when you put negative energy, like us talking badly about the Red Sox, Noah's hatred for Trevor Story, you probably get some pretty pissed off Red Sox players right here. So You know what? I'm just going to go with my gut feeling. I've said it since I've joined this podcast that this team is going to be a wagon. So you know what? I'm going with my gut feeling. I think that, the Astros are going to lose some games. I think we're going to sweep the Astros. We're going to get the trash cans out because we're going to be guessing their pitches for now. So you know what? Let's let's make Houston have a problem this week. So you know what?
Okay.
And you know what? This weekend we will always be royal. We'll always be a bright star. So you know what? I'm bringing out the puns. You know what? I'm bringing out the puns on this podcast. You know what? We're having fun. Why not? It'll be a royal sweep. So you know what? We're going to be rooms. We're going to be getting some problems out here. And the Red Sox will be making the playoffs. Come September, we're going to be all smileys. I'm going to be eating my kebabs and rice. Italy Jet will be eating his cannolis. And, Rob's going to be getting the brooms, and we're all going to have a grand old time. And you know what? The Yankees will still be in last place. Can't be much happier than that. So you know what? This Red Sox team, I'm going to keep saying it, is a wagon. Let's go Sox.
Let's go.
Man, please, round of applause. Oh my goodness for this man. Round of applause. That was great.
That was amazing wordplay. That was the puns, the dad jokes, everything. Love it. 10 out of 10.
No, I didn't. I actually thought of it right on stream. So I was like, you know what? We need someone to pump us up to get us, ready for this week. So you know what? Let's do it. I'm not a father yet, but dad jokes are coming. More will come. If the dad jokes just keep on churning, and I'll just keep on fishing for new ones to come next week.
Well, you do live in Rhode Island, so there you go.
I do. That's right.
I love that. Those dad jokes. That got me motivated, making me want to run through a wall right now. The last month expectations for the Boston Red Sox. What do I think? We're playing some tough competition. We're playing Tampa Bay. Kansas City is not too much of a threat, but they handled us last time, so we can't count them out yet. Toronto, Texas, Chicago White Sox, who are a shit show right now. Tampa Bay again for 2 at home, and then we end the season in Baltimore. September call-ups, I think the Boston Red Sox bring up Emmanuel Valdez again. I feel like Valdez was a good hitter for the Boston Red Sox, and I think he would be a good hitter down the stretch to have as a bench bat. I feel like also Ceddanne Rafaela is the main choice that I would love to see because he is such an athlete. He is killing it in Worcester. The guy just rakes, hits home runs, has a good glove, good speed. He'd be a perfect fit on this Red Sox team down the stretch. Kind of like a Quinn Berry situation where he was a pinch runner, kind of like a fast guy to have on the bench, guy that you could fill in and put in the outfield when needed. I think this Red Sox team, for the Kansas City series, I think they take 2 out of 3. I think Tampa Bay is going to be their biggest challenge because Tampa Bay is on a decline right now. Texas is also struggling right now, and we handle Texas at home. So we're going in the Globe Life Field. So we're going to have to see how we handle it. The ball's hot. It's hot down in Texas. The balls fly when it's hot. Maybe the Red Sox get on a slugging streak like they did in Houston. I think this Boston Red Sox team makes the playoffs. I really do. I think we get that 6th seed. I think Toronto, falls out of that seed. I think Toronto, Toronto, Texas, Tampa Bay, they're all struggling right now. Boston's been playing solid baseball. They haven't been playing the best of baseball as they used to, but if they can hold things together, consistently hit, consistently pitch, and figure things out, this Red Sox team can make the playoffs. And I arguably think, and I'm going to say this right now, this is going to be a 2021 retake, but I think the Boston Red Sox, if they can beat the Twins and get through to some teams, I think if they get their matchups right, I think this 2023 Boston Red Sox team has potential. And I'm going to say this here first. I think we could go to the World Series. I'm being so serious right now. I know it's not. I'm being so serious. Stupid. If we can handle Baltimore, I want to think it's stupid. There's chances. If you think about it, Baltimore has handled us, but when it comes to October baseball, it's a different breed. The Baltimore Orioles, they're an unexperienced team. They have young guys. I know this Red Sox team's a little young, but they have some guys. Justin Turner, who has playoff experience. Kenley Jansen has playoff experience. A lot of guys who have had playoff experience. So that really helps you as a team. And a lot of these teams that are going into the playoffs right now, they don't have guys who ever play in the postseason. And postseason baseball is different. When you have guys who have experience, it really helps. But that's just a bold take. I wish it happens. You heard it here first. I'm not trying to be like Shannon Sharp, having blasphemous takes or Skip Bayless, but that's truly how I feel. If they can get the right matchup, I think this team can go far into October. And that's just from the heart. That's what I mean.
So it's from the heart. Okay, listen, I'm not there yet, but I see where you're going with this, and you make some really good points. We got Mr. Positivity Devin on the bottom. We got Noah's takes. We got Rob Anglin as the host, and me, I'm like, I want to see it to believe it, and we got to see where we're at this final week going into September, where I think if we can make a World Series push. I agree with some of your points, but as far as now, like, I'd rather focus on the now and then worry about it later on. But
true.
I love your positivity, though. Got to keep the positivity going. But for me, I want to see it to believe it. I'm from the show me state. So, got to show me. But I do love the positivity, Rob.
Positivity is always key. You got to stay positive, especially down these times in September baseball. And we had a good episode today, I think, guys. And we're going to round this up just talking about our expectations. I'm going to say it real quick. What do we think is going to happen in this Astros series real quick? And we'll wrap it up. What do we think is going to happen in this Astros series and the Royals series? What are your predictions? And then we'll wrap it up with the outro. I'm going to start with Italy, Jed. How do you think the Red Sox are going to do against Houston in this 3-game series and this 3-game series against Kansas City?
Kansas City, I think we're going to lose 1 game, but I think we're going to win 2. In the Astros series, I think we have a chance to sweep them, but I can also see it being, we lose 1. We're either going to lose 2 or 1 out of this because it seems like what faces the Astros are always hot. The Royals, just like Noah's talked about and Mia talked about, everyone's talking about it. When it comes to the Royals, you never know. We never know with them. And bad teams, we go down to their level. And it's very frustrating. So hopefully we don't do that. Hopefully we rise to the occasion. Everyone's healthy. But yeah, I'm expecting 1 loss in the Royals and 1 loss with the Houston Astros.
I like that idea. I think the Red Sox winning a good amount of series will be huge for us. No, what are you thinking? How do you think we're going to handle Houston and how do you think we're going to handle Kansas City?
So ultimately, I mean, obviously the wild card is Kansas City, right? But before I get there, I want to go over the pitching matchups because they haven't really been mentioned yet. For the upcoming 3-game series against the Houston Astros, the pitching matchups are Chris Sale versus Christian Javier, Brian Bayo versus J.P. France, Cutter Crawford versus Framber Valdez. I don't know about you, but that sounds like 2 of 3 to me. I think there's a possibility that they could lose the Sale game if Sale doesn't give them some depth. But obviously they lit up J.P. France, Bayo at night. I think they should win the Bayo start. And ultimately, Framber Valdez, you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes he could go 7 shutout, and the next he's out in 2 innings. So if Boston could do it to J.P. France, I think they could do it to Framber Valdez too. Personally, I know it's going to be in Kansas City. I don't think there's any reason that we shouldn't sweep the Royals. We missed their ace, Cole Reagans, who kind of crazy to say ace, but that dude was touching about 100 miles per hour on his 100 pitch of the night the other night. So they missed Cole Reagans. Pitching matchup is James Paxton versus Jordan Lyles, who are surprisingly 2 of the worst pitchers in baseball right now. Yes, James Paxton has been absolutely brutal as of late. It is then Tanner Houck versus an opener for the Royals. And then Chris Sale versus Zach Greinke. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a sweep to me. There's really no reason to not take 2 of 3 from Houston and then go ahead and sweep Kansas City.
I think that's going to be huge. I think they could sweep Kansas City, and I think Houston's going to put up a good fight. I mean, I don't know about that last game, losing 17-1, if they have much fight left in them and they've been struggling, but we'll have to see. Dev, how are you feeling? How do you feel about this series coming up against Houston and Kansas City? How do you think the Red Sox are going to fare?
Man, I think we're going to be a big problem for them damn Astros. Like I said, in my last segment, I think we're going to get the trash cans out. We're going to be guessing those pitches. Duvall's going to be hitting like home runs. Turner's going to turn things around, and he's going to, make some good assumptions on those pitches. And I think we could take probably 2 out of 3 from the Astros. And, the Royals, they could be a pain in our butt, but you know what? We're going to definitely feel a Royal sweep, and I just feel like that we're going to, by next Sunday, we will win the next 5 out of 6 games and maybe, just maybe, be in a spot in the wild card.
Ooh, I like that take. I really do. For me, 6 games coming up, 3 against Houston at home, 3 on the road. I think the Red Sox take 2 out of 3 against Houston, and I feel like we sweep the Royals. So I think we win 5 out of 6 ball games and get into a spot into the playoffs. I think this Red Sox team has been hitting the ball very well right now, and they're pitching. If they can figure it out, we're going to be okay because this lineup's scoring 5 to 6 runs a game right now. They're averaging 5 to 6 runs. They've been playing very good baseball right now at the plate. On the mound, a little shaky. But if we can figure it out on the mound, I think we'll be all right. Italy Jet, take us out on this beautiful episode.
Well, guys, if you like this episode, please give us a like, subscribe, share, and comment to Guy Boston Sports, the Dirty Water Red Sox podcast, and support Grandstand Productions. Everyone does a great job all the way around, and we love our Red Sox. Now, a new tradition that we do, and now as we pick one person, Devin, Noah, Rom, to sing or say, we love that dirty water. So tonight I'm going to go Rob.
Oh, boy.
Take it away.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Guy Boston Sports, for giving us this opportunity. And as always, guys, we just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I love that dirty water.
All right. Good day, everyone.
Bye.
See you guys. See you next week.
Thank you for watching the Dirty Water Red Sox podcast, episode 4. Tune in next week to watch episode 5. Roll the outro. Woo! Good night and go Red Sox. Peace.